Hello, my name is Daniel Bowen. I'm a college student and I'm also in the Army National Guard. Today I'm going to tell you how to make thousands of extra dollars simply by going to college. If you're in the military, you're in a unique position because we get something called tuition assistance. Me being in the Army National Guard, I get federal tuition assistance as well as state tuition assistance. Federal tuition assistance for the National Guard is $4,500 a year. The unique thing about tuition assistance is that it pays before the Pell Grant. There's a sequence in which all different types of financial aid are paid. Usually for a civilian, it's Pell Grant first, then state level grants, and then scholarships. But since we got tuition assistance, this is one of the only ways to have something pay before the Pell Grant, which is as important to the strategy I'm going to talk about later on in this video. So that's pretty much tuition assistance in a nutshell. $4,500 a year pays before Pell Grant. State tuition assistance pays after federal tuition assistance and is before Pell Grant. The GI Bills. The GI Bills, there's several different kinds, believe it or not. When you initially join the reserves or the National Guard, you get what's called the Montgomery Selected Reserve GI Bill. This pays around $333 a month right now. But if you get the college kicker, that adds $200 to it, bringing it up to $533 a month. The great thing about that, if you don't really know how the GI Bill works, is that it's directly deposited into your bank account. It doesn't go to your school, and another plus is that it's not considered income, so it doesn't show up on your tax returns. If you deploy in the National Guard or the reserves, you actually qualify for two new GI Bills. One of the most popular being the post 9/11 GI Bill. I'm not going to go into that too much, but basically the post 9/11 GI Bill in a nutshell combines 100% tuition assistance, 100% the highest tuition of the public university in your state. It'll pay all the way up to that. So University of North Carolina, the highest tuition rate they have for one of their schools is how much it would pay in the state of North Carolina. If you go to Duke or Chapel Hill, that's a private college, and it doesn't go all the way up that high. As far as I know, I think they've been changing rules constantly. But you also get a stipend with that equal to basic housing allowance of an E5 in your zip code. And for me, that would actually only be around $1,000 where I live now, $1,000 a month. Now, the other GI Bill that you qualify for when you deploy is called the Reserve Education Assistance Program, and this is the GI Bill I use. The great thing about this is that you can combine the college kicker with it as well as something called the buy-up program. Now, I'm not entirely sure how much the REAP is worth by itself, but with the college kicker and with the buy-up program, I'm getting $1,205 a month from this GI Bill. The buy-up program, the way it works is, and I'm not sure of all the steps, I can research this if anybody's interested, but the buy-up program, you pretty much send a check into the U.S. Department of Treasury, and it's a check for $600, and they increase your GI Bill to $150 of extra money per month. So that pays for itself in 4 months. Now the GI Bills, this gets kind of fuzzy because I really don't know how this works, but if your GI Bills basically are worth 36 months of school. So if you use Selected Reserve for 4 months and then switch over to post 9/11, well, you got 32 months on post 9/11. That's just the way it works. But one unique feature about the GI Bills is that if you use one of the regular GI Bills, not the post 9/11, if you use anything but the 9/11 GI Bill, you can use it for 36 months, and then from what I understand, you can switch to the post 9/11 and get it for an additional 12 months. So you can get GI Bill for 48 months, which is 4 years. That's a bachelor's degree right there. The Pell Grant. The Pell Grant, this is the big money maker for me. Of course, the GI Bill is a big money maker too, but Pell Grant is pretty good too. The way the Pell Grant works is anything that's left over. Pell Grant, first of all, Pell Grant pays for tuition and books at your school. If you buy it from the bookstore, you can put it on your Pell Grant. You don't have to, but you can. But the great thing about the Pell Grant is that it's refundable, and most civilians don't really get much of a refund because it's the first thing used. But we're in a unique position because we can use tuition assistance. That tuition assistance pays for all of my tuition, and then I get the entire Pell Grant refunded to me each year. The Pell Grant, the maximum you can get in a year is $5,500. So I'm getting an additional $5,500 a year just to go to school, and that's not even counting my GI Bill. It's not even counting my drill checks, not counting my part-time job. So, anyways, this is the big money maker, like I said. Now, after the Pell Grant, and the sequence, I'm talking about the sequence again. After the Pell Grant, state-level grants are paid out, and there in South Carolina we have something called the need-based grant, and you can apply for it, but if you're getting the maximum Pell Grant, you can't use it. Basically, it tries to make up for a gap in between. If you qualify for a partial Pell Grant, the need-based grant will make up the difference up to, I think, $600 per semester, somewhere around that. After the state level grants is scholarships, and I should have looked into this, but I'm not entirely sure when loans are paid in the sequence. But scholarships and loans are not important in the strategy I'm talking about, because if you're using scholarships and loans, then you've basically messed everything up. You're not getting that $5,500 in Pell Grant. So my strategy, I'm gonna outline my strategy after telling you all these things. Okay. If you use your tuition assistance at your college, at a community college now, you really should go to a community college, a 2-year college, because the tuition is so cheap. Use your tuition assistance, federal and state if you need to. If federal and state combined is about $9,000, by the way. So if you can go find a university that's only $9,000 a year, hey, you can use the strategy too. But I'm going to a community college. Use your federal tuition assistance, state tuition assistance if you need to, and then apply for the Pell Grant, which is through the FAFSA.gov website, and apply for your GI Bill, of course. If you're using REAP, use your kicker and the buyout program, and you will be making thousands of extra dollars a year. I'm making, just from me going to college, I'm making about $20,000 a year right now. And if you would like to, if you would want to know more about this, please leave comments and questions, and I will be glad to make additional videos talking about these different things. So, anyways, that's my video. By the way, my name is Daniel Bowen. I'm a specialist in the Army, North Carolina Army National Guard. I'm an infantryman, and I've been going to college for over a year. Thank you.